Now, the royal family are never out of the limelight, and an upcoming book is sure to keep them there for a little while longer. Well, Omid Scobie's new book claims Prince William is apparently power-hungry and that Queen Camilla went to dangerous lengths to preserve her image.
Well, joining us now is the man in the know, our royal correspondent, Rupert Bell. Morning to you, Rupert. This book has been described as holding bombshell after bombshell. I mean, they all say that, don't they? What are we expecting, though?
It's bound to, well, they're in the pre-launch hype machine is well and truly notching up a level or two. And clearly, Omid Scobie has the ear of the Sussexes, and clearly his view is that the royal family have cast them asunder and sort of alleging that Prince William is power hungry. I'm not sure how you can be power hungry when you're automatically going to get the job eventually. I suppose what he's maybe referring to is the way that Harry and Meghan have been cast asunder, and presumably they feel that William just wanted to be the only sort of brother in town, as it were, to make sure that all the focus was on him, and that presumably is what he's alluding to. But I think we're going to have to we've got to see where his sources are coming from. Look, I haven't read it yet. It's coming out on November the 28th. But clearly, it's going to have a degree of fascination, because clearly Omid Scobie's view of the royal family is not necessarily, well, quite clearly isn't a flattering one.
Do you think we'll likely see, Ian's been asking this all morning, you could essentially write anything about the royal family, never complain, never explain, they're not going to respond to any of these claims. Do you think they could be pushed to respond?
Well, they didn't after Harry, so I think, and the documentary and the book, there was only the time when the racist allegations where William sort of muttered an aside as he was walking away from engagement. That was the nearest we got to revelations, a sort of response to what was going on. So I don't think we will. They will try and ride the storm out. It will just be uncomfortable for them. And to suggest, he's suggesting that the king is unpopular. I think the problem is not necessarily unpopular. I think great swathes of the population are ambivalent towards him. The younger generation don't necessarily see the relevance of the royal family. And that's the hard part for the king, to make himself seem relevant to the population as a whole. And that's going to be the hard part, and has been the hard part for him. So unpopular, no, but maybe just a sort of disinterest in what they're getting up to, because they lead a lifestyle that none of us can imagine what it's like. It's so different, but they've got to make themselves seem relevant.
Just to shine some light on this, if you would, Rupert, who is Omid Scobie? I mean, his name comes around every now and again. I think he's previously written a book, he's friends with Meghan or something. Well, what's the story with this guy?
Well, he's a journalist who's tapped into the niche. He's been around for some time. People suggest that it's not quite what you've seen, but he has come up as a Yahoo editor. He has found a way of tapping into, well, he tapped into the Meghan and Harry sort of story and has made it work. His book, Finding Freedom, obviously was reflecting, having the ear of the Sussexes and their camp. And that's what he's made sure is his sort of niche. He's got his niche and he's got his outlet. And clearly it's an interesting one, because people want to know about the Sussexes and their relationship with the royal family. And he is the man who is being able to do that. Hence the reason why this book is coming out. He's describing it as the most challenging work of his career. Well, I'm sure he's going to be ubiquitous on his PR tour. Revealing all, as he would say, as to what is actually going on behind the doors of Buckingham Palace and William's home and everywhere, and indeed the Sussexes. So he's definitely found his niche to be the spokesperson for the Sussexes and their story.
Now, Rupert, we know the Prince of Wales was welcomed in Singapore ahead of the Earthshot Prize ceremony. Considering the announcements that have been made by our own Prime Minister over recent months about new oil and gas licenses, about everything to do with kind of climate change, and we know what William and Charles's thoughts are on that, can you see them being particularly happy, one, with having to announce these changes potentially in the King's speech tomorrow, or having a bit of a step back from their involvement in things like the Earthshot Prize because it might be deemed too politicised?
Well, the King's off to go and speak to COP28 at the end of the month in the UAE with the blessing of the government. So, presumably they're happy with the way the King goes about his views. And this is his difficulty for both he and William, how they sort of dance the political line. And it is a challenge for him because we do know that, starting with Prince Philip, they always had the environment at one of the heart of their causes. And it's definitely been the King's mantra all his life. And he was disappointed not to be able to speak at the COP conference last year, but he's been given the blessing by Rishi Sunak. And as you say, the King's speech tomorrow, it will be interesting to see. Well, he's just going to have to read it out. That's what you do. You get the script from the King, from the government, and you tell them what's going to be coming up in the year's legislative program. So it's going to be interesting what will be revealed. I'm pretty sure we seem to already have a firm idea, and we know that Rishi Sunak is stepping back from the net zero pledges or trying to change it. So it might be uncomfortable for both William and the King, but William is absolutely passionate about this Earthshot initiative. And, he's been called an absolute game changer by one of the nominees for one of the 5 categories that are going to be announced later on this week. So, and you can see that for William, this is a real cause célèbre for him and gives him, he believes, a real sense of purpose. So I don't see him changing anytime soon his tune with regard to the environment.
Yeah. More passionate than he was about the Women's World Cup, that's for sure. He wouldn't